Dominic, just the man I was looking for. You ever write ad copy?
No.
Good, you'll learn a new skill. Brian's Cup of Gumbo wants to run an ad. You'll interview him, give me a couple of 100 words, and make him sound good. Or at least interesting.
Whatever.
What's your problem now? Oh, dear.
Why is my car covered in feathers?
Maybe it was cold? Oh, come on, how would I even care?
Thought you might decide to be helpful and tell me what's going on.
Dominic, don't be an idiot. Clean up your car and get to work. And if you're looking for sympathy,
Oh God, mercy. Mercy for God's sake.
Henry, this goes too far.
My God, have mercy on me! Oh. No! 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 Have you no feeling? Alice is upset. Her father has been murdered in front of her and she wants justice. Jekyll is responsible. His guilt is tearing him apart. The two of you act like you're arguing over dinner. Alice, be angry. Jekyll, feel like the selfish bastard that you are trying to distract her. Do it again. Go!
Do all you can to bring the murderer to justice.
To seek revenge is unchristian-like.
You say that, Henry, because you're different from other men, but in this case, it's not.
Alice, to forgive is godly.
My God, Jekyll, I want some feeling. Be severe with her. Who are you?
Dominic from the Press Gazette.
You're 12 minutes early. Sit down and shut up.
Yes, sir.
Jekyll, look at her. Not at me, look at her. Look at her. Do I look like her? Look at her. Look, see? Alice is angry. Her father is dead. Murdered. She wants payback. You want things to go back to the way they were before you started monkeying around with this Hyde thing. You're trying to gaslight her into forgetting what happened with her father. The angrier she gets, the harder you have to work at it. Got it? You're desperate. Alice, to forgive is godly. Jekyll is somewhere between bullying her and pleading with her. You act like you're giving her the time of day. You're both in pain. But right now, the only person feeling pain is me.
All right.
Do it again while I talk to the damn reporter. Whole scene, start to finish. Let's go back. So, sit. Tell me about yourself. How are you feeling about our little city?
It's one of the more interesting places I've ever lived.
That's a clever way of saying that you hate it.
I didn't say I hate it.
But you're no fan. We've been here for a while, have a chance to meet some of the locals, the advantage of being a reporter, I suppose. So tell me, who do you find the most fascinating?
Well, so far, you.
That's nice, but how about someone other than me?
The boys. Well, I could follow them around for weeks and never run out of material.
I was a little put off by them at first, but I have to agree with you. They are very fun to watch. Of course, our local hermit, Daniel, he can be very entertaining as well.
You have a local hermit. How does that work?
He lives alone, never talks to anyone. A vow of silence. I had dinner with him once, though. Wonderful conversationalist.
You just said he never talks.
Which gives him an advantage over other people, I suppose. So you've been here a couple of months. Tell me, do you have any love interests? I live for gossip.
Sorry, I'm pretty boring.
Really? Let's see, you slept with your boss's wife, got fired and driven out of town, and now you've been seen in the company of Minnie Flannelly, who spends more of her time with the dead than the living. So you're not really that boring.
You know, I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
No, I'm having fun.
Yeah, but I gotta do my job.
Okay. Ask me something.
Well, you have me at a disadvantage.
I'll help with a little background. I'm a stage director, and I live for directing. It's the whole big vision thing, you know? I've worked in New York and Chicago. Fortunately, not.
Start over, it's theaters.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'll help with a little background.
I'll help with a little background. I'm a stage director, and I live for directing. It's the whole big vision thing, you know? I've worked in theaters in New York and Chicago. Unfortunately, not everyone shares my enthusiasm for bringing the people into the work. And by people, I mean the audience. But I won't compromise. People have even died at my shows.
I heard about that. What happened exactly?
Well, I don't like to talk about it, but since you brought it up, we did Anthony and Cleopatra, and for the sake of realism, we used a live snake during the suicide scene. It got away from us during the show. In fairness, it wasn't one of the super deadly ones. In the fray, an old lady had a heart attack, and, well, that was that. We dedicated the show to her, Mrs. Someone or other.
Really?
They shut me down a few days later. Wasn't the first time, so I've had to bounce from place to place.
Sounds bad.
I survived, but it never ends. 3 months later, I did an all-female review of Lawrence of Arabia. We used industrial fans to blow sand into the audience. You know how some shows have splatter zones for blood and things? Well, we turned the entire theater into a sandstorm. It didn't go over well. I've worked in Atlanta, Chicago, New York. I even had an off-Broadway show once, but now I'm here. I'm not sure the people in this little town really understand my work, but at least they don't seem to mind it much.
Maybe we can focus on this particular show. Lysistrata? Your press release is a little thin on details.
Yes, that got put off. We had some casting issues, so we had to shuffle things around.
Well, that explains a lot. So what are you doing?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a dramatic adaptation. Here is the press release we were supposed to send out. We're using high-frequency sound waves to create a disorienting effect whenever Hyde is on stage, so it might be wise to wear earplugs. We'll sell them, of course, at a slight upcharge.
Well, is that even necessary? Isn't the play enough?
Well, I'll let the audience decide.
Sure.
One moment. With feeling, Jekyll! Be desperate! Sorry.
You could hear them?
Oh, no. I just know he'll start with the energy that I need, and then he'll slack off. So I have to motivate him from time to time. Actors drive me crazy. My greatest show would be the one without any actors.
That's harsh.
Try directing. Then you'll understand pain.
What else should I know?
Well, some see Dr. Jekyll as a victim of chance, a scientist who got unlucky and somehow brought out his worst side as a man. I see him as someone who thinks he knows everything, but because he never questions whether he does or not, he ends up hurting everyone around him. Arrogance is a vice. That's our message.
I like that. That's a great headline. Anything else people should know?
Yes, I wouldn't eat a big meal before the show, but if you do, we'll have vomit bags. Upcharge.
No big dinner. Okay. Well, thanks for your time. This will go out before opening day.
Grand.
Another step, and I'm lost. She hunts the murderer of her father, and he stands before her.
How long have you been here in town?
4 years. It's likely that I'll die here. Such a shame.
You won't try a bigger city again?
I will, but it'll all end the same, and I'll be back here.
I see. Well, thanks again.
Oh, thank you, Dominic O'Connor. I hope you come to the show.
I'll try to do that.
Really? That's what you're giving me? You have less feeling than the average reporter! Feel!
What's up, guys? Hey, we've been hunting. Catch anything?
Take a look.
goddamn alligator.
Now, how did you know?
That man is a genius.
No, he's just got keen powers of observation.
We thought you'd like to see.
I've seen an alligator before.
In real life?
No.
Well, now you can say you've been close enough to pet one.
You brought that over just to show me?
Nah. Rhonda's gonna take a picture for the paper.
That's a thing here.
This ain't big city.
Great. Later, guys.
Hey. You turned out to have a connection. That's one of his special things you ain't got. Good thing you don't got a convertible.
He had a fella smothered to death back last night. We had a guy smothered to death in manure a couple months back.
Where'd you get the feathers?
Coop out back in his house. Got at least 100 of them.
Watch out. Hey. You better watch out.
You remember that time Alex stuffed a dozen raccoons into that commissioner's car?
Of course. We got paid good to clean them out.
Must have took weeks for him to trap them things.
I don't see how he had the patience to gather them all.
And then to hold on to them till he could use them.
And then to pick that man's lock in the middle of the day. Now that takes balls.
I always wondered how he was able to convince them rascals to stay put while he was loading them up in the back seat.
And then to stay quiet for all them months.
Pretty near a year?
I don't want to brag and rights while the memory was fresh.
Sir, that's real discipline.
A man dedicated to his craft.
Sure is a man to admire.
You know, we could learn something from him.
That story on the stray dogs is gripping stuff. Good pictures of the pooches. Wonderful quotes by the local children and that antique dealer, Anastasia. Who knew dogs had past lives?
Yep.
She said that Beagle is its own grandfather, spiritually speaking. No snarky comebacks?
Nope.
Disappointing. Well, then you can go.
Can I look into the mayor's finances?
Why?
See if he has any slush funds or friends on the payroll.
Is there any reason you would suspect him of anything?
No, but I was thinking that...
I wish you wouldn't do that.
What?
Think! Every time you do, it causes trouble for me.
I've only been here a few weeks. What trouble have I caused you? Fine, I'll be a human dictation machine.
Oh, who's a good boy? Why, you're a good boy. Here you go, little guy. It's not a penis pop, but it tastes just as good. What a sweet boy. See his tail wagging?
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Hey, Dominic.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Hey, I wondered. We want to make a deal.
Nice story on Hosquatch.
an interesting guy. I'm not a fan of feature stories, but I wouldn't mind doing one on him.
You mean you actually like someone in this town?
He has standards. I mean, yeah, he's an oddball like everyone else around here, but he's also a professional, unlike everyone else around here.
Because I have such a kind heart, I'm going to let that one go.
Your generosity knows no bounds.
Getting back to Hosquatch.
Almost sounds like you admire him.
I guess I do.
Let's you and me have a drink.
All right. Thanks.
Not a bad first month. Started a bit rocky, but keep at it. You might make a good reporter.
You think so?
No, but you're all I got.
I appreciate the support.
So, how's the new paramour?
Paramore.
Minnie.
Minnie Glenley?
She's clearly interested.
You said she'd get bored.
I might have been wrong.
And if you are?
She's a bit young for you.
She's pushing 30. Old enough to make her own decisions.
Even you have got to know she's not right for you.
And who is right for me?
Well, we all know who wasn't right.
Oh, we're going there, are we?
So, what happened with your little fling anyway? How did you two get together?
It was some office party. Wendy came over, we talked, and then... Well, anyway, she was a nice girl.
Girl? I thought she was 40.
Oh, come on, don't make her out to be an old woman. She just barely turned 35.
40 is old? I'm 47.
But you look so good for your age.
Thanks.
See? I know how to charm the ladies.
So what happened?
Her husband found out, and I got fired. Plus, her father was a city councilman with ties to the police. So I found myself getting tickets every other day. So I had to leave Atlanta.
And you had no other friends at any other papers?
Well, sure, but no one wanted to touch me until this whole thing dies down.
And she decided to stay with her husband.
Well, that's how it works, right?
So, how long do we have you for?
A year? Maybe. A year in hell is enough penance, I think.
You're not winning any awards here.
Look, I know I'm a little difficult at first, but I grow on you. Like fungus.
No, seriously. You're not going to win any awards here. It's a small town. You hardly ever get a chance to break a big story, like never.
I'll find something. I always do.
We'll see. Oh, before I forget, I got a strange call from Alec Fielding.
Oh?
You remember him?
Vaguely. He pulled a prank on me, right? On my first day.
That's him. He called to say that a gator ended up in his chicken coop. Apparently ate most of them.
How'd an alligator end up in a chicken coop?
I think somebody put it there.
Real? Why would he think that?
He said it was wearing a cape.
Red or yellow?
Yeller. It matches his eyes.
I reminded him that there's an unwritten rule that no pranks were allowed after an employee's first day, and if he wanted to play games, to do it on his own time.
Well, I guess you put him in his place.
I'm very good at putting difficult men in their place.
So, what about you?
What about me?
What brought you to Kookville? You're not from here, are you?
After my divorce, I needed a job somewhere away from him. Our publisher, Peter, is an old friend from high school. Hired me as a copy editor, and over the years, I worked my way up.
Not bad. You ever think of moving up to a daily?
I have, but I'm happy here.
Really?
You don't get to judge this place until you've been here a while.
You're right. You're right.
I'm always right. I'm the editor.
Hey, look at this. We're friends now.
No, we're not. I'm your boss. And I'm going to stick my foot up your ass every now and again just because I can. Nothing has changed.
Okay. Good to know.
Dominic,
Minnie.
how are you?
Minnie, how are you? You know my boss, Susanna Springer.
Yes. Hello, Minnie. How are you? Look, I was about to leave anyway. Why don't you have a seat?
No, stay. Let's all have a drink together.
I'll see you tomorrow, Dominic. Now be a good boy. So what have you been up to today?
Working and drinking. What about you? What's happening in Kookville?
Well, I had a couple of stiffs I had to take care of at the funeral parlor. And that made me think of you.
How did you know where to find me?
Abby told me. She said you had something to say. So
You-
what is it?
You know what? I actually believe that.
So what did you have to say?
What did I? What?
You just tell Evelyn that she's a liar.
Right. I think I know now. I wanted to say, I'm sorry. I was a little harsh the other day.
You were an asshole.
That's what I meant. I was an asshole.
Good. I forgive you.
Thank you.
Dominic! How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Danny.
Who's your lady friend?
Minnie Flannelly. This is Danny Oakes.
We met a few years ago.
Yeah, briefly. I'd forgotten your name.
I didn't forget yours. I never forget a future customer.
Oh boy.
Well, she's much nicer looking than the skank you were talking to the other night.
If I buy you a beer, will you go away?
Sure, I'd love a beer. You old dog.